Rated M for mature.
Don't let your kids watch it!
Hey there, Artie!
Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 6, everybody. So, before we start, gonna be a little bit of a side tangent, gonna be kind of a long thing, but I gotta talk about this. So, last time we got the reveal that Chapter 1 was different than what we thought. Instead of Keiichi's friends going crazy and trying to kill him, Keiichi was the only one who went crazy and hallucinated that his friends were trying to kill him. And things like them sending the needle in his lunch, it was actually them putting hot sauce in. Them apparently trying to stab him with a syringe of drugs in it at the end. Turns out it was just a marker. I was kind of critical and skeptical about that when it happened, because I distinctly remember there being some things that you couldn't really explain away. I kind of went back and watched some of my Chapter 1 videos, and I realized that it actually makes a lot more sense than I thought. I thought for sure there was a scene at the end where Rena and Mion specifically said, oh, we're going to inject you with the drugs that killed Toмотake. That's not what they said. They actually just said, you're going to have what happened to Toмотake happen to you. Now, assuming that they weren't trying to kill him, this basically meant, oh, we're going to draw on your shirt the way that we did to Toмотake at the Watanagashi Festival. And Keiichi interpreted that as them trying to kill him. So there is some merit to that. Also, the entire scene where Rena was chasing us with the hatchet through, like, the construction site, that was also very different than I remember. Nothing that she said was actually, like, aggressive at all. She was actually like, I want to help you. I don't want, like, you to I don't want you to be like Satoshi, where, like, he disappeared. I want you to stay. However, she did chase him with a hatchet, but she didn't actually attack him with the hatchet. She was holding it over her head, but that may have been something that he just hallucinated, I don't know. But at the very least, she never made any, like, swings at him with the hatchet. And it's possible that she actually wasn't acting weird. She was laughing evilly a lot during that. I don't know if that's a thing of, like, she was just laughing normally and he thought she was laughing creepily, or if she wasn't laughing at all. I'm not too sure. I guess we'll cover that in my theory, which is coming up shortly. But as it turns out, now that I have kind of gone back and watched it, I'm much more open and okay with that chapter reveal, and if they can find a way to answer my remaining questions, that will be a pretty cool twist. There are kind of a couple things from Chapter 1, though, that are still a bit up in the air. Number one, regardless of how he interpreted it, Rena openly admitted to stalking us in Chapter 1 and actively was trying to break into our house. That's not going to be explained away by a simple hallucination, I don't think. So maybe she was also a little crazy there, too. I don't know. I hope we get an explanation on that. Number two, the note at the end, where Keiichi, like, wrote the note being like, I'm about to die, here's kind of my story, put it behind his clock, and the note was torn up at the end of that. So that's interesting. And they also kind of have to explain again about Rena's evil laughs happening during that. I think those were the main... Oh, and the van. So the van did try to run over Keiichi. That could have just been a case of, oh, he thought they were trying to run him over, but either they lost control of the vehicle or, like, they actually weren't going to hit him. He just was hallucinating that. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, my theory, I've been thinking about this a lot. Oh, hello, Shirley. Welcome. I've been Keiichi'd. You think Rena was definitely unwell and acted a bit wrongly in Chapter 1? And she got the issues from her mom? Yeah, that's possible. We know that regardless, Rena has some deep-seated issues that have not really been resolved. Okay, I want to talk about my theory, because I've been thinking about this a lot. As of this chapter, we've basically gotten confirmation that the thing that's causing people to go crazy is a drug, or like a disease of some kind. I know that's kind of just a theory, and maybe they're going to pull the rug out from under us, but it really seems like, based on what we've learned in this chapter, that's what's going on. With things like Rika outright confirming that there's, like, the drug that killed Toмотake, which was just a theory kind of in Chapter 1. Along with the actual studies of, like, oh yeah, there's a disease going around, and, like, Rena has it. So I've been thinking about this a lot, because if it's true that there's a drug or a disease that's causing people to go crazy, and I don't even want to call it that, going crazy, because that's like the easy way to explain it, but it's a bit more to it than that. There are two things that have bugged me about this, because I've been really trying to think about, like, what really is this disease? Because it's not just the craziness disease, because it looks really different in different people. Because, like, Toмотake apparently had the disease, at least at the end, and he was a completely normal guy until he clawed his throat out off screen. And even so, like, the people who go crazy from the disease are different. Like, the way Rena is going crazy in this chapter is different from the way that Shion is going crazy in her chapter, which is different from the way Satoko went crazy in chapter 3. And there are two things that are really weird. Number one is that the way Keiichi goes crazy in chapter 1 is very different from the way he goes crazy in chapter 3. And that seems weird, because if this is the same disease or the same drug, inhabiting the same person, it should have the same or pretty much exactly the same effect on him. It should have made him more paranoid, but it didn't. It just made him more protective and way more aggressive, which is very weird. Because he's the same guy, but it affected him two different ways in two different chapters. The other thing that has bugged me is that one thing that seems to be common across people who have this disease, they hear things that nobody else can. And not just I'm hearing people laugh crazily when maybe they're not. No. Like, one thing, like, Keiichi and Shion, Keiichi at the end of chapter 3 and Shion all throughout chapter 5, we're hearing an extra set of footsteps behind them. Which Shion's like, oh, it's Satoshi! And Keiichi was like, oh, it's Oyashiro-sama, like when he's in, like, the loony bin at the end of chapter 3. Also, there were other, like, weird things, like, Keiichi in chapter 1 was hearing someone apologizing over and over again. Rena's like, oh, I've heard that too. Like, that means we need to help you. And then, the weirdest thing of all. In chapter 2/chapter 5, when they're in the ritual storehouse, both Shion and Toмотake heard a thumping sound that nobody else could hear. And they both heard it at the same time. Now, we know that both of them went crazy with the disease or whatnot. But they both shared the same hallucination, which is weird. That is not how hallucinations generally work. Generally, if you're hallucinating because of a result of a drug, the drug's chemicals are reacting with your unique genetic makeup and chemicals to cause different hallucinations. So how is this possible? Well, there is a drug in the real world, I can't remember if it's DMT or not, where if a bunch of people take the drug at the same time, they actually experience the same hallucinations. There's not really an explanation as to how that works, and one of the big theories is that this is basically letting you tap into some kind of, like, spiritual realm. And I think that's what's at play here. I think that what's going on is that whatever this drug is, when you're exposed to it, and, like, it kind of influences your body, it, like, taps you into a spiritual realm where you're more susceptible to evil spirits like demons, which is where Oyashiro-sama comes into play. So I think when you're exposed to that, you're basically getting yourself exposed to demonic forces that can not necessarily take control of you, but can influence you. And they're able to, like, see what you are, like, who you are, all your thoughts, and they basically prey on your greatest vulnerabilities in order to try and bring destruction. And I think this is the only, like, evil spirits is the most reasonable explanation. Because this explains, in chapter 1, Keiichi was more paranoid than before because he was finding out from Toмотake about, like, the murders and the dam construction incident not from his friends. I think in the other chapters, his friends let him know about that. So he's like, oh, okay, he was more trusting of them. But he felt like they were keeping it a secret. So I think like, the demonic spirits, will just say Oyashiro-sama, like, basically knew that he was paranoid and that he didn't necessarily trust his friends, and kind of twisted that and basically made him more susceptible to distrusting his friends and hallucinating. I think Shion, the demons were taking advantage of the trauma she had in her past of, like, losing her identity, being horribly mistreated by her family, and basically having nowhere to go, and kind of twisting that to get revenge on the people that hurt her. And, like, in chapter 3, Keiichi was way more protective of Satoko because he learned about her past, so the demons were like, oh, we'll twist it so he's way more aggressive and willing to commit murder in the sake of protection. I think, again, it may seem far-fetched, but we have references to demons in here. So I think that could potentially be an issue. And this leads to, okay, well, what's causing the drug? I don't know how the drug is how these people are getting exposed to the drug, but I do think Takano is behind everything. Because if I'm right about how that's how the drug works, that drug is the perfect combination of both of Takano's, like, things. She's a nurse, and she's obsessed with the occult. And she faked her own death. And she's, like, she's obsessed with Hinamizawa's past and the concept of Oyashiro-sama and, like, human-demon hybrids. So I think if this theory is correct, I think she's behind all of the murders for the last 5 years at Watanagashi. Because I think she's basically either like testing out different prototypes or variations of the drug, and that's causing people to go crazy on Watanagashi Festival. And the reason because why would these incidents only happen on this festival? It's because she's obsessed with the history of Hinamizawa and Oyashiro-sama, and she's the one who's doing this. That's what I think. So I think Takano is the one who's kind of administering this drug to people. I don't know how. And I think she is the one kind of responsible for all this. We'll see. I don't think we're going to hear any answers or confirmation of this in this chapter because we're kind of busy with the hostage situation, but that's what I've been mulling over, and I think that this does explain a lot of the open questions we have. It doesn't explain things like how Rika keeps getting, like, keeping her memories from the previous loops, how Keiichi was able to get his memories from the previous loop. Doesn't explain who the girl that Rika's talking to is, but she could also potentially be part of, like, the demonic forces, because Rika is able to interact with her, and apparently Satoko can't see her. I don't know how that fits in, but yeah, that's kind of where my mind's been going. We'll see if that's actually true or not, and we'll see how well I actually explained my theory. By the way, hello Liz and hello Filmua. Welcome to you both. If anything, this chapter has established that Ren is unstable and has extreme reactions to who she considers an enemy. True. I do remember Keiichi seeing some invisible girl. I don't remember him seeing a girl. I remember him hearing things. Like, he was hearing the person say, "I'm sorry," over and over again. Which Rena apparently also heard. You're wondering if Rika's ghost is part of this random theory, but whatever the ghost is on the good side and maybe tries to help the others, but only the mentally unstable can hear it, her or him. I mean, I'm interested to see how that works. Also, I don't know for sure how much of the supernatural stuff this story is actually going to cover. I also don't know if they're going to go the route of, like, oh, just because they're a demon doesn't mean they're bad, which, like, that's not how real demons work. But I know that Japan culture is different than Western culture. So anyways, with that theory now covered, let's go. We need to continue because Rena is currently beating up Shion and torturing her. Rena kept hitting Mion, who had her hands tied behind her back. Rena wasn't using her fists, but instead the handle of her hatchet. Don't move or I'll kill you. I don't know why this is difficult to understand. Keiichi saw someone invisible and said that it was a girl and then trashed the shoe locker, or how it's called. I don't remember that. Was that in chapter 1 or chapter 3? Rena's gaze intimidated me. Her eyes were full of madness. I could feel Rena's emotions boiling over on the inside. If I opposed her, she would easily cut Mion's arm off. She did it, Rena hit Mion's face over and over. It wasn't just Mion's hands that were tied behind her. Her neck was also tied to a window frame with a bike lock, so there was no way that Mion could protect her face. I didn't know if her forehead was cut or if her nose was bleeding, but her face was covered in blood. Yeah, Mion cannot catch a break in any of these chapters. And she is probably, well, is she one of the more innocent characters? I mean, she's working for the Yakuza family, so there's some unsavory parts to her, but yeah, In chapter 1, he broke the shoe shelf by the entrance of the house. He did do that, because I did see that in the scene towards the end where, like, I forgot for Rena and, like, Miona were like, what the heck happened to your shoe shelf? And he's like, I tripped and fell a baseball bat first on it. They're like, oh, classic Keiichi, before taking him upstairs. Chapter 1, he used the bat, thought someone was following him. Yeah. Chapter 1 is, man, regardless of how things turn out, like, this has been such a fascinating read. I can't really remember another story that has made me think about it more, like, and theorize in between, like, sessions. Like, this game is fascinating, and the mystery is so cool. And also, rewatch bonus, because going back through and rewatching part of Chapter 1 was really interesting. To be fair, I played Chapter 1 like 5 years ago, so that's part of it. Her blood got on the handle of the hatchet, and every time she got hit with it, more blood was smeared on her face. The handle of the hatchet could easily smash her forehead. Because of her position in the Sonozaki family, Mion couldn't say that she hid the bodies, so all she could do was endure. However, Rena continued to attack her. Rena no longer had any restraint. She might even continue until Mion's front teeth were broken. Hey, X-Dude, don't mind us. Rena's just currently beating up one of her friends to a bloody pulp.
ミオ、もういいだろう。俺が話す。本当のことを話すから。レナ、ミオを殴るのをやめるんだ。
I thought you already told me the truth, Keiichi. Did you lie to me? You know how I hate liars. You think I'd like Umineko if I plan another visual novel read in the future? I mean, that's an option. That's another long one, though, so that'll be a multi-year commitment, and I'm genuinely moving farther and farther away towards this kind of content. I kind of want to start another channel where I deal with more, like, biblical topics. We'll see if that gets off the ground, though.
ケイイチ君。
ダメだよ、ケイちゃん。
クラスのみんな、今から言う話は頼む。
Please don't listen to me.
少し物騒な話をするかもしれないが、悪いことの話じゃないんだ。
Okay.
だから聞かないでくれ。耳に入っても
What
忘
a
れてくれ。
weird preface, Keiichi.
頼む。
どういう話だろう。聞かせてくれるかな。
難しい話じゃないんだ。あれはお前のためだったんだよ。あの埋めた場所が今年の夏に営林署が伐採で立ち入ることになってたのを後日に。だからあのままじゃまずいと思ってミオンがもっと別の安全な場所に隠してくれたんだよ。
その話はあの晩に聞いてる
Oh,
よ。
her eyes kind of went back to human eyes instead of reptile eyes.
そしてそんなのはみーちゃんの作った嘘だとも言わなかったっけ。
なんで嘘なんかつかなきゃならないんだ。仲間を助けるのは当然じゃない
Every
か。
child in this classroom is going to need therapy after this.
だからミオンがお前を助けるためにやってく
And
れ
this
た
is
んだ
coming from
よ。
a guy that generally doesn't care for therapy.
嘘だよ。嘘だよ。信じないよ。ならなんでそんなことを私に相談せずにこっそりとやったの。
Why did Mion even have to tell her? Mion was trying to be delicate. Mion did her best to trying to hide what Rena did. Mion knew Rena was at her wit's end, and that was why she did it in secret. But Rena didn't want to believe her.
違うよケイイチ君。ケイイチ君まで騙すなんて本当にみーちゃんは卑劣だね。
Hey, I think we should... Let's go back to console for a little bit.
部活で騙すのは許せるけど仲間であるケイイチ君を騙すなんて許せない。
Man, her eyes in the console art style here. With the eyebrows and like the bags. Terrifying.
許せない許せない許せない。
やめろ。ミオンを殴るな。ミオンは悪くない。
I never knew having your hands tied behind your back was that scary. Mion got hit repeatedly with the handle of the hatchet. Keiichi, you had your hands tied behind your back in Chapter 1, and you somehow broke out and beat them both to death with a baseball bat. Mion should be able to do the same thing, right? Oh, wait, no, she has her neck bike locked to the window. Maybe not. If Hinamisawa doesn't blow up first. That's right, they're going to be blowing up from gas explosions pretty soon. In Chapter 1, Keiichi was paranoid about how Rena knew about his parents being gone and what he was supposed to have for dinner. This chapter kind of explained that. Did it? Rena told Keiichi this chapter she often meets with his mom at the supermarket and they talk about what they're having for dinner tonight. Yeah, but you also forget that when she's pointing out, like, yeah, you're having this for dinner, and he's like, how the heck do you know that? And she's like, because I was right behind you at the grocery store watching you the entire time. I distinctly remember her saying that because I literally put that clip in my stream starting soon montage because that was probably the creepiest moment from the game for me. Mio got repeatedly hit with the handle of the hatchet. She could only endure. She couldn't even protect herself with her hands.
ねえ、そうなのみー
Guys,
ちゃ
Rena's
ん。
about to get down with the hottest new dance move. This is called
そうならなんでそうだって私に話してくれなかったの。
ミオンに話せない理由は想像つくだろう。その先家のいろいろ都合があるんだよ。それより気を使ってくれたことをお前が感謝すべきじゃないか。
I may have said it too aggressively. Rena turned around and glared at me. Oh, hang on. Creepy Rena smile. We gotta go back to this one.
そうだよ、
This
ケイチ君。
I think this is in the top 2 or 3 scariest sprites in the game. Rena's console lizard eye smile.
園崎家の都合でみーちゃんは私を警察に売った。仲間の私を売った。仲間なのに、友達なのに、仲良しだったのに。ひどいよみーちゃん。本当に大好きな一番のお友達だったのに。
Why does Mio get beat in every chapter?
ひどいよ。
This was senseless. Rena cried as if being bullied, but she was the only one doing the bullying. Normally this would be so odd as to be impossible, but I had seen this scene before. I liked you. I trusted you. As I cried, I beat her to death. Rena repeatedly begged me to trust her, yet I beat her. I know what it's like to be the one doing the beating. Stop. Stop, stop, stop! Stop, Rena! Don't you realize what you're doing? You're hurting your friend with your own hands. I understand what you're feeling. I know you're sad because your friend betrayed you, right? But that's a misunderstanding. We didn't betray you. We've been thinking about you all this time. Yeah, Rena, we literally agreed to help cover your murder for you. Like, at that point, friends for life, right? But she just couldn't see that. Even if she died, Rena probably wouldn't realize she'd made a terrible mistake. But someday you'll realize. Even an insensitive guy like me realized, so Rena would realize it for sure. And that's when you'll feel even sadder, Rena. You will remember this bloody Mion one day. Then you'll realize that you were the one who made her bloody, and you will regret that you did. But I was the only one who could understand that, because I remembered. There was no way for Rena to understand or realize that. I wondered if I was suffering most of all. And there was no way to avoid a tragedy. This is why you feel so bad for Mion, because she had no choice in her life or her control of what family she was born in. And she wasn't even born Mion. I mean, look, yeah, Mion and Shion have a very messed up past, for sure. And they've got kind of a terrible family. The reason why I'm a little hard on Mion, there's a couple reasons. One is just Mion's personality. I don't even think her real personality. But I think the personality she's forced to put on because she has to pretend to be Mion all the time is basically one of my polar opposite personalities, and one that I just generally don't get along with. And the other reason is that, yes, she's in this, like, pretty terrible family situation, but she's literally just going about doing things the same way that her family does. Like, I haven't really seen any indication that she's like, I hate the way my family does things. I want to change it. She's like, oh yeah, well, you know, we got ties to some Yakuza members. Like, stuff like that. Like, okay. Or like, oh yeah, I threw bricks, but like, a while ago. Yeah, it was just a thing I did. It's like, you don't think less of me for doing that, right? But yeah, she's one of the more sympathetic. Well, is she one of the more sympathetic characters? Because again, you can... She's certainly more sympathetic than Shion, but, like, Rika, I think, is more sympathetic. She's, like, lost both her parents. Satoko lost both her parents and was abused and lost her older brother. Well, yeah, I guess... I feel like... Keiichi's the only one who comes from, like, a normal family. This was exactly the same tragedy, with different actors. The main character was Rena instead of me, but it was the same thing. Where was I? I was in the audience now. I knew how this story ended, but I couldn't come onto the stage.
やめろレナーやめてくれやめてくれ
泣いてるの？どうしたの？
This is weird, because she, like, clearly still cares for us. She's just been, again, I think it's demonic influence that's, like, amping up her aggression towards her perceived enemies and making her perceive everything as an enemy. I stood up slowly and walked towards Rena. Just like what Rena did for me before, with my arms open.
頼むからやめてくれやめるんだレナ今はどうしてかわからないかもしれない
I don't think we need to rank sad past. Yeah, I know. We shouldn't be comparing other people's trauma. But some people do have more trauma than others.
なぜやめなければならないのかわからないのかもしれない
What is Satoko doing in all this? Isn't she a trap expert or something? She also is tied up right now, so that's probably why.
でもやめないと 絶対に後悔する日が来るから。だから、やめるんだ。
圭一くん、壁に戻らないと。レナは怒るよ。
Rena's eyes went cold, and she lifted the hatchet in her right hand.
やめな、ケイちゃん。私は大丈夫
Man,
だから。
Mion is very tough. I'll give her that. Mion told me, but with such a bloody face, how could she?
レナは、その名で、俺を叩くのか。
That's true, yeah. In Chapter 1, Keiichi was fluctuated between being aggressive, paranoid, and, like, hateful, and also, like, really sad. Like, why are my friends doing this? Why is it happening this way?
それ以上近づけばね。叩くよ。遠慮なくね。もう圭一くんなんかいなくても最後までいけるんだよ。でも私は圭一くんと最後まで一緒にいたい。だから私を怒らせないで。ね。
She sounded gentle, but her expression was telling me there really would be no hesitation. Rena would crack my head open with the hatchet immediately. But who cares?
レナは、もし立場が逆だったら、命を惜しむと思うか。
当然だよ。
That's an interesting smile. I don't think we've ever seen that smile on Rena before. She's like, I'm pretty happy. Oh! Oh! Hi! Dang, that's a cool sprite.
相手が凶器を持ってたら怖いから逆らわないね。
嘘だな。
I know. I know you're strong enough to give up your own life for the sake of your friend. It's my turn now. My turn to be strong.
俺もレナと同
Keiichi
じだ
has
ぜ。
got balls of steel.
仲間のためなら命なんて惜しくない。レナが欲しいってなら俺の命だってくれてやる。だからやめるんだ。仲間を信じてるなら仲間を傷つけるのをやめるんだ。その痛みは必ずレナを襲うから。だからやめるんだ。誰もレナを脅かしたりなんかしてない。みんながレナのためを思ってる。それを疑うな。頼むから信じてくれ。俺を信じろ。俺の頭を砕けば信じられるってんならそのナタを撃ち下ろせばいい。俺は防がねえからな。
All the kids are watching us just like, really? Keiichi just has to give another corny speech even before his death.
近寄るな。
That expression changed though.
それ以上近づけばライターを点火するよ。
Rena lifted the lighter overhead. Also, another thing that I pieced together. They never actually said this, where they're like, where did Rena get the lighter? She got it from Teppei. Because Teppei, when he died, she's like, oh no, the light went out. He's like, oh, that's okay, I got a lighter. And then she killed him. So she presumably just took his lighter. And that's the one she's using. Dang it, even when Teppei's dead, he's still causing problems. Keiichi's development is definitely something. When his resolve is strong enough, he definitely has balls to defy against it all, no matter what's happening in front of him. True, that's why he's the protagonist.
バカ野郎！てめえ、いつまで夢を見てんだ。自分でも分かってんだろ。悪い夢だって。誰かに覚ましてほしいって。だから俺が来た。俺が覚ましに来たんだ。
覚ますのは圭一くんの方だよ。この村が奴らに侵略されていることがまだ信じられないの？あの時はちゃんと信じてくれたのにまた疑うの？また私を信じないの？
Rena opened the lid of the lighter. I could tell her thumb was about to light it. Rena was prepared to die along with everyone else. Rena would die without knowing the truth. She would die believing it was the world that was crazy. She would die cursing everything in this world. That was the storyline of this tragedy, wasn't it? It was a theater from hell. What an interesting script. Who wrote it? A devil? I actually think it is. Oh, and speaking of which, I mentioned earlier that I think Takano's behind all this. Technically, I think that Takano, at some point, probably with her, like, I don't know, experimentation or experience with, like, the demon drug or whatever, probably came into contact with, like, Oyashiro-sama or a demon like that, and is probably just doing their bidding. That's again, part of my theory. Shit. I won't let this happen. Don't underestimate Keiichi Maebara, the original main character. Don't think the same storyline will work again. Okay, no breaking the fourth wall in the halls. I'll be taking over the script this time, and I am going to destroy it! I won't let this bad ending take place. I am going to destroy their expectations. Keiichi, we turned off the choices in this game.
信じてねえのはレナの方だろうが。今は俺を信じろ。黙って俺を信じやがれ。それは絶対にレナのためになる。前回の惨劇の主人公がそうだと言ってるんだよ。先代主人公の言うことをおとなしく聞き。
何を言ってるのかさっぱりだよ
What are
ケイ
you,
チ
the
君。
heck are you doing?
黙って俺を信じろ。信じてないのはケイチ君
No,
の方だ
they're
よ。
just going, no, you, over and over again until 7 o'clock. And then the gas explosion happens.
どうして私を信じてくれないの？
やかましい。
I'm
俺は
talking,
お前が間違
so
って
shut
るこ
up!
とを知ってるんだよ。お前の末路を知っていて、お前がする未来の後悔を全部知ってるんだよ。仲間を自らの手で殺し、それがどれほど罪深いことかに気づきもせずに生を終える。それがどんなに悲しいことか。
全然何を言ってるのかわからない。大丈夫なのケイチ君？
ああ、そうだな。何を言ってるかレナにはわからないだろうな。でも話してやる。ある大バカ野郎の話を
We
聞か
play
せて
for
や
all
る。
of chapter 1 again.
あるところに前原圭一っていう大バカがいたんだ。そいつはみんなと楽しく過ごす気に何の不満もなかったのに、ある日を境にほんの少し仲間を疑っちまうんだ。そして何もかもが疑わしく感じるようになってきて。
He didn't notice how worried his friends were, and he hurt them repeatedly. How sorrowful. No, you. That's method will work. Trust me, lol. Cage Maibara. Pretty much. I get it though. Like, it's annoying when you're trying to say something important. People keep talking over you. You're just like, will you shut up and let me finish? And then you're seen as rude for telling them to shut up, even though they were the rude ones for interrupting you. They trusted each other, but they couldn't let each other know. Can you believe something as stupid as that actually happened?
そして俺はお前とミオンを金属バットで殴り殺しちまうんだ。なのにお前は最後の瞬間まで
Not.
私を信じてって言って俺に殴り殺される最後の瞬間まで頭をかばわなかった。かばおうとしなかった。最後まで俺を信じて両手を差し出したままだったんだ。それがどれだけすげえことか俺は気づきもせず
All
お前を殴り殺してしま
of
った
the
んだ
kids
よ。
and Mion are like, what is he talking about?
それがどれだけ
They
罪
have
深
to
い
be
ことか
thinking like, what kind of a
お前に
play
は
is this?
想像なんかつかないだろうな。だから俺は俺の罪を滅ぼすためにレナを止めるんだ。
それ以上近寄ると
She's like, okay, that was weird. Anyways, I'm going to blow the place up.
レナが命を懸けて俺を救おうとしてくれたように今度は俺がレナを救う。俺はレナがどんなに立派な最後を遂げたか今でも覚えてるぜ。あの瞳には自分が殺されるかもしれないなんて怯えはわずかもなかった。
These words will reach him, she thought. These next words will make Keiichi-kun realize.
俺を信じろレナ。
That was when Rena hit my head with the hatchet. I crumbled down to the floor. She hit me with the handle, but my head was probably cut open. He's like, yeah, I deserved that. I felt the blood on my face.
かわいそうなケイチ
Oh
君。
no. Creepy Rena's back, everybody.
それはケイチ君の意思じゃな
The
い。
detectives are just listening to the drama with popcorn. I thought that he turned off the bug. Or no, he doesn't know he needs to turn off the bug.
ケイチ君の頭に寄生している奴らがコントロールしているだけなの。今に大石さんが治療する薬を見つけてきてくれ
Oh,
るよ。
also, I forgot to mention. Part of my demon theory is that the demons, I think, are generally trying to like prey on your weak points and make you do horrible things. But if you don't have any weak points, then they just try to kill you. So my reason is that the reason that Toмотake just died immediately without going crazy is because he didn't have any weak points. He's just a very strong, confident guy who couldn't be convinced to do anything horrible. So they're just like, well, just kill him then. I think you'll like that theory, Shirley.
そうなったら一番最初に飲ませて治療してあげるからね。そうしたらもう圭一君は奴らの支配から逃れられる。レナの大好きだった圭一君に戻れるんだよ。だからもう少し待っててね。辛いだろうけど待っててね。
このバカ野郎が
You can't deny that Keiichi's speeches can be corny and long-winded, but they still hit. Not gonna lie. I mean, I see what they're trying to do here. I think the voice actor is simultaneously the best and worst part of it. Because, like, he's putting 110% into this, and it's insane how, like, massive his range is and how much heart he's putting into this. But it's, like, the perfect level of, like, oh my gosh, this is, like, so passionate that it hits. But also, I'm like, this guy is just hamming it up so much, I can't take it seriously. It's not a diss on the voice actor, by the way. He did an amazing job. It's not you, it's me. I heard a phone ringing in the teacher's office. Oh, Rena, I think somebody's trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Rena listened to the phone ring for a while, then realized it was for her. Rena tried to answer the phone in the classroom, but she couldn't figure out how to transfer the call, so she decided to answer it in the teacher's office instead.
ちょっと職員室に行ってくるね。その間に誰も逃げちゃ嫌だよ。誰か一人でもいなくなってたらみーちゃんが大変なことになっちゃうんだからね。
Also, they're all tied up with bike locks. It takes a while to untie them, so alright. Rena glared at everyone in the classroom, intimidating them, and then left. That was when I heard a honk from the outside. I remembered the signal from earlier. Did Uisi-san want to get in touch with me? I bent down to put the receiver earphone in my ear.
聞こえますか？沖宮署の熊谷と申します。聞こえているなら咳払いをしてください。よかった。今から言うことをよく聞いてください。犯人が撒いたガソリンは極めて
Yeah! No shit!
今教室内には気化したガソリンが充満して巨大な爆弾と同じこ
Oh
とに
yeah,
な
I
っ
have
て
to
い
tell
ます。
Keiichi about the plot point.
ですから竜宮さんを刺激しないようにし、間違ってもライターをいじらせないでください。さっきのような挑発行為は二度と慎むようお願いします。
Tomotake's only fault is thinking he can fix Takano. Okay, that's true. I don't know how the demons would take advantage. Oh no, the demons did take advantage of that. He tried to fix Takano and then she killed him. Well, there you go. All the voice actors in this game are amazing. That's true. Especially whoever plays Mion/Shion in Chapter 5. I don't know how she did that, but like, wow. Blew me away. I've been saying Keiichi could be an amazing politician if he tries.
チェ、盗聴器って嫌なもんだぜ。
気化ガソリンはわずかの火花でも着火する可能性があります。ですので、この連絡を最後に盗聴器の電源を切ってください。これは万が一に備えてのことです。それから最後に犯人は次元発火装置を仕掛けていると予告しています。
次元？なんだって？
キッチンタイマーを流用した次元発火装置で火花を起こすだけの単純なものですが、現在竜宮レナの要求する解毒剤と偽れる睡眠薬を準備中です。ですが残された時間が長くありません。予告ではタイマーの設定は午後7時。
Did I say 7 p.m.? I meant 6 p.m. I looked at the wall clock. It was 6:45 p.m. There were only 15 minutes left. That's what I thought last time! 2 hours passed and we were still in the same scene. I could hear Rena screaming into the phone.
いいえ、時間通りです。急いでくださいね、大石さん。1秒たりとも遅れることは許しません。
聞こえてると思いますが、竜宮レナはタイマーの設定延長には応じないようです。あと15分で本気で心中するつもりです。
I remember thinking the same way as Rena. After I killed Rena and Mion, I knew the police would come. I thought someone would solve the mystery after I was dead. If that's what Rena was thinking, then she had been planning to kill herself from the beginning.
それで俺にどうしろと？
睡眠薬がもうじき届きます。だが交渉中に爆発したら元も子もありません。あなたに次元発火装置を見つけ出して解除していただきたいのです。
よく映画で見るような赤と青のコー
No!
ドを
Didn't you
切
just
断す
hear
る
me
やつ
say
で
that a
す
spark could blow it up?
もっと簡単なものでしょう。犯人の予告によるならば、 それは台所用のキッチンタイマーです。電池でなくコンセントに挿して動くタイプの目覚まし時計状のものと思われます。
Let me ask us, do you think Keiichi has the power to pull off the miracle of uniting the left and the right? No.
教室内のコンセントに何か
You probably don't want to hear my actual opinions on that. I'll just say that. There was one outlet in the back and another at the front of the classroom. I checked, but I didn't see anything that was plugged in.
いや、教室内のコンセントには何も。
よその場所で発火しても確実性
If
は低いでしょ
Keiichi
う。
actually made like a deeply impassioned speech about unity today, he would just be called cringe on social media.
間違いなく教室
That's
内
what
にある
would
はず
really
です。
happen.
いや、多分ないぜ。廊下からコードが引かれてるのはレナが話してる電話だけだ。
Okay, I get why they were playing this music. It was during his like passion, like I believe in you speech. But I feel like they should be playing a creepier or a more urgent song right about now.
そのキッチンタイマーが電池式ってことはないのか。
電源を供給するタイプですのでコード型に違いありません。あるいは他の部屋というこ
It's
とはあ
like
りません
Christopher
か。
Robin said, we have to believe in ourselves.
その教室以外にもガソリンの充満した部屋があるとしたらそちらの部屋に仕掛けられている可能性があります。
学校中を調べろってことかよ。あと15分でか。くそ。
I just got hit in the
なんだぜ。
forehead. But if I stayed here, I'd die in 15 minutes. This wasn't a time to be pessimistic. This was probably my last chance to stop this tragedy from taking place. She spread the gasoline when I went out to deliver the scrapbooks, so she must have done it in a fairly short time. I really didn't think she had enough time to spread it anywhere else other than the classroom. Then where was the time bomb?
こちらも努力しています。ですからそちらでもご協
She
力をお願
shoved
い
it
し
in
ます。
Mion's mouth.
以上です。質問がなければこれで更新を終了しますが何か
Connection
ありますか。
terminated.
特にない。あ、いや、一つある。
何でしょう。
大石の親父に言っといてくれ。よくも人の古傷をレナに話しやがったなって。もし俺が生きてここを出られたらぶん殴ってやるから覚悟しやがれって伝えといてくれ。ああ、2発殴るぜ。俺のことをレナに喋った分と
Ooh.
レナのことを俺に
Yeah,
喋った分
he's
だ。
spreading the gossip, but that never worked out well.
了解。大石さんも竜宮レナに踊らされたとだいぶ
Yeah,
へこんでます。
way to go, Kuma guy. One of the best guys in the story.
きっと殴らせてくれますよ。以上でよろしいですか。
ああ、このおしゃべりだけで数分食っちまった。切るぜ。
ご無事をお
Okay. Rena was still on the phone. Uisi-san was definitely trying to stall her. From what I could hear, it sounded like he's telling her that they investigated the main Sonozaki residence and found something awful in their secret basement or something like that. Hey, if he went too far, Rena would believe everything again. Mion is going to get hit again for lying. Oh no, I'm sorry, girls. I'm gonna try my best. Don't look so sad. Rika's sad face makes me sad. Dude, hey, what are you doing? I'm still sad. Now, okay, this one they don't even look sad. They just look disappointed. This is the face Rika and Satoko would make if we, like, told a dirty joke. And they're just like, bruh, that's not politically correct. You can't do that. Rika-chan and Satoko crawled up to me.
今の俺の無線聞いてたか。
トラップは私の先輩特許でしたよ。レナさんにお株を奪われるなんてこんなの死んでも死にきれませんわ。
Satoko realized how serious the situation was as well. The lives of the hostages, including her own, were about to be taken. Yet she tried to remain strong.
サトコ、もし死んでもレナを恨まないでくれ。レナは病気なんだ。
His voice was too peaceful for creepy music. Then maybe like intense music, maybe not creepy.
運悪く悲しい病気にかかっただけなんだ。だってそうだろう。俺たちはあんなにも明るくて楽しい仲間だったレナをよく覚えてる。
サトコ、僕はレナもみんなも素敵な仲間だと信じていますの
Yeah,
です。
what did I do this chapter? Why wouldn't you believe I'm your friend?
あんなミオンさんにあんな乱暴する人を仲間なんて認められますの？
Of course the main cast would not be pro-politically correct. And you know what? I appreciate that.
サトコだってわかるはずなのです。心の中の鬼が暴れ出して どんなに悲しくても抗えない時
Rika
がある
also
のを
seems
知っているはず
Rika
なの
also
です
seems to be indicating the potential demon theory. Okay. Oh, I hate that sprite. Satoko quietly hung her head. I didn't understand what Rika-chan was trying to say to Satoko, but maybe.
レナさんを信じてますわ。
偉いぞサトコ。
I hugged Satoko's head. Rika-chan's arms were tired, so she couldn't embrace Satoko, but she put her forehead closer to her in praise.
さて世界最高のトラップ名人に聞くぜ。この部屋を爆破するにはどこに次元発火装置を仕掛ける？
お任せなさいませ。その装置はコンセントに
It's
繋がってなけ
oh,
れば
it's
いけ
gonna
ま
be
せん
behind
ね
the。clock.
ああそうだ。
Just like
で
how
も
Cage
この部屋と
did.
は限らないぞ。
Just like the simulations.
他の部屋にもガソリンが撒いてあってそこに仕掛けてある可能性もある。
いいえ、そんな時間はなかったと思いま
Cage
す
should be
で
a great
す。
politician, but he would definitely need somebody else to monitor his social media feed. So otherwise he'd just be like taking selfies at Hooters with like the weird costumes, and people would be actually that's pretty harmless considering what a lot of nowadays politics are like.
多分レナは教室のすぐ近くに隠してあったガソリンを持ってきてこの部屋に巻くくらいだったのですよ。
そういやレナは昨べ俺と別れる時明日の準備があるって言ってた気がするぜ。ってことは何かの仕掛けを昨べのうちにしてあった可能性もあるな。
それだけのヒントで私はここに芋虫状態。なかなかに意地悪な難易度の爆弾探しゲームでございますわね。
サトコなら見つけられる。
Do I think Hollywood could do justice to this work, making a Higurashi adaptation? I have absolutely zero faith that Hollywood can do anything good these days. They're just churning out junk.
サトコに見つけられないなら俺にも無理だろうな。
Also, Hollywood would be alright. Higurashi When They Cry. It's 8 main visual novel chapters, so we're gonna stretch it out to be 52 movies.
だから俺はサトコを信じて全部をかけるぜ。
サトコならで
Also,
き
we're
ま
race
す。
swapping the cast.
レナを救うためにも見つけ出してほしいのです。仕方ありませんわね。本気の私の前にはレナさんのトラップなんて問題に
Satoko's
も
like,
なら
I'll
ない
make
こと
my
を
own
証明し
time
て差し上
bomb.
げてみ
No,
せますよ。
Satoko.
さあもう一度聞くぜ。この部屋を爆発させるなら次元発火装置をどこに仕掛ける？
Satoko grinned and then closed her eyes to concentrate. I gotta think about it. Now you give me a to be continued. How is it possible that Satoko's the most normal person in the club? How is that possible?